I'm absolutely open to feedback. So, without further ado, are you ready for me to open the scene?
Ready.
Ready? Let's do it.
Arm yourselves with pens and shield yourselves with grass paper as we join ourselves in a brand new adventure. This is the year 14 after the Battle of Yammen. You are the first batch of Padawan since Order 66. Luke Skywalker has trained you at his Jedi Temple on a separate planet than where we currently are. This is right now on the moon Yavin 4. You see him attempting to persuade his sister to allow the 9-year-old son, Ben Solo, to attend the Jedi Temple, but she is resistant. Nonetheless, you all travel from that temple to this one, with Leia's ship protecting yours. She is a powerful ambassador and revolutionary of a legendary attitude, who Kata works for. I believe this is a good opportunity to go around the table and have everybody introduce themselves. Kata, would you please go first?
Sorry, excuse me. Yes, so I'm playing a character named Kata Rael. She's from Chandrilla. She has pink hair, bright eyes, and she's been working with Princess Leia in her office on Hosnian Prime as part of the, like a senatorial aide.
We'll just continue around here. Next up is Kel Varati.
Hello, I'm Kel Verity. I am a Syrian, which is a big conehead person. And before coming to the temple to study with Master Skywalker, I lived on spaceships, working as a crewman on many types of freighters and transports. I'm very logical, and kind of my approach to the Force was I'm here to study it, to really understand why it works the way it does.
Next up is Flint.
Flint Kootenai is, up until very recently, a professional sabacc player and gambler of sorts who was referred to Luke Skywalker after a fluke chance encounter with a friend of Lando Calrissian, but largely is just sort of a well-meaning sort of scoundrelly type who is a little out of his element.
Next up is Gungi.
I am Gungi Tarful. I am a Wookiee from Kashyyyk. I have studied the Jedi ways in secret under the Empire's iron grip. And I am here to learn the ways of the Jedi, so that I may use the light side to protect the innocent and destroy those who would harm them, like the Empire.
Next up is Mudon.
All right. My name's Brad, guys. And this is Mudan Obir. He is an Ithorian who spent his whole life on an Ithorian herd ship called the Frithrair. He is a seer and has made use of the Foresee power to guide his herd and kind of help them avert danger as they travel around the galaxy, helping restore ecosystems that were destroyed in the Galactic Civil War. When the Force priest of his herd found out that Luke Skywalker was looking to rebuild the Jedi Order, he told Mudan that he needed to go and join him because he would be of greater use to the galaxy helping rebuild the Jedi than just staying aboard the herd ship and guiding his own people.
That's like the motivation. Jessica, what's your character's name?
Moira.
Moira. Please describe Moira.
So Moira is quite young. She's roughly 16 years of age. She would have been a part of some archaeological digs or possibly some ruins. We can, I guess, nail that down a little bit more closely if something's convenient from a story-wise perspective. But what really draws her is it's a natural draw, I should say, from a Force perspective. She's trying to figure out herself as well as the background, with so many cultures and people being displaced because of the war and then the rebellion. That's something that calls to her. And so, that war is both from a history and culture, but also from a Force perspective, and that's really what what drives her.
Thank you. Next up is Tristan Maverick.
Hi, my real name's Chris. I'm playing Tristan Maverick. Tristan has been a petty thief. He's been a navigator on a spice freighter. He's been a pilot for smugglers. He was referred to Luke Skywalker by a friend of a friend of a friend of Han Solo. His motivation is to learn more about the Force. His emotional strength is bravery, and his emotional weakness is recklessness.
A long, long time ago, there was a time of great unrest in the galaxy. The evil forces of the Empire have been defeated, but the remnants of their tyranny still linger. As the New Republic struggles to establish a stable government, a new threat emerges from the shadows. The First Order, a fanatical group that seeks to restore the Empire to its former glory, has risen from the ashes of the defeated regime. Led by the mysterious Supreme Leader Snoke, the First Order is determined to crush the New Republic and impose its own brand of order on the galaxy. In these turbulent times, a group of young Jedi Padawan have come together to hone their skills and become the protectors of the galaxy. Kata, a skilled human peacekeeper, leads the group, which includes Mudon, an Ithorian seeker, struggling to reconcile his visions, Kel Varati, a Syrian artisan, eager to become a Jedi Knight, Flint, a cunning, streetwise candidate for the Jedi, Moira, a human Padawan, thirsty for knowledge of the Force, and Tristan, a human navigator with a deep interest in space navigation. As the Jedi Padawans train under the guidance of the legendary Luke Skywalker, they are unaware of the danger that lurks in the shadows. As the conflict between the First Order and the Resistance heats up, old allies will be reunited, and new alliances will be forged. The fate of the galaxy rests in the hands of these brave heroes as they confront the darkness that threatens to consume them all. May the Force be with them. As I said earlier, you have all been trained under Luke Skywalker for at least a couple of weeks on a separate Jedi temple. He has prepared a higher level training exercise for you as he believes that you are ready to take the next step in your education, brought by Leia Organa herself. They have been on the campaign trail as Leia is seeking official recognition as a member of the Senate in her continued goal to spread peace across the galaxy. Having brought you here personally, now Luke and Leia are having a tearful goodbye. C-3PO cries and wipes away the circuits, saying that he always hates to say goodbyes, while at the same time, R2-D2, Luke Skywalker continues to say, "Are you sure you don't want to leave Ben with us? He's interested in learning his connection to the Force." And Leia extends to say that she's uncomfortable with it. Luke knows that, and he respects it. Leia and Ben depart on their Lambda-class ship. Hopefully, to be seen again in the future. Do any of you have any final things you wish to say to Leia or Ben before they depart? With you all now assembled in the plaza in front of the temple on Yavin 4, Luke says, "Well, there's no time like the present. I have already cleared out some of the greater dangers of this area, but I have suited it out to be appropriate for your own education. I really believe in hands-on learning. You'll find this helpful, I hope. Although there may be some dangers, I don't think you will be getting into more trouble than we can handle as a group. And I've given you all access to your characters. Go ahead and follow Luke Skywalker." You come upon a fountain in the antechamber here. This place has evidence of being a former rebel base, and in addition, you see that it was scavenged after the Empire took over it after that. It has a deeper history that has been obscured by its frequent use. Would anybody like to roll education or warfare to see what they know about this place? Difficulty 2.
So 1 success, 2 threats on the RPG sessions table.
I have 1 success.
And your threats and your advantages cancel out. Those of you who succeed are aware that this was a Sith temple before it was taken over by the rebels, long ago, centuries, millennia ago, but you're not sure who the Sith Lord was at that time. Because of the disadvantage for, was it Chris?
Yeah, Chris. Tristan.
Thank you. I'm just going to give you a setback dice on your next relevant roll.
Okay.
And you can continue in following Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker goes up the stairs to the left. And here, he invites you all to explore on your own. Kel Varati takes out some of her sensors and devices and immediately goes north.
So this is a book in the archive section?
There does appear to be a book that was left open when whoever left here left previously.
I'd like to examine it.
Mudon, you get in their way somewhat. You're looking through the book and you kind of poke over Tristan's shoulder to get a better look. Unfortunately, sometimes you lose track of your Ithorian volume and you kind of disrupt them and they ask you to leave while they're trying to study. Moira and Tristan, you can see that the text that is currently open is talking about the creation of lightsabers. How, at essence, a lightsaber is composed of a handle and a crystal. That often in Jedi and Sith temples, you will find treasuries or caches of these crystals. Otherwise, they would need to be found naturally occurring, of which there are many sources. Most famously, the planet of Ilum is where the majority of lightsaber crystals came from. This entire time, Kel Varati went right for the lightsaber forge, their sensors picking up high electronic activity in the area. She taps into it and begins to intuitively forge a lightsaber handle. Master Skywalker watches you as you create your handle and gives you a lightsaber emitter.
And I bow to him and thank him for that assistance. There's still a place for a crystal, so I begin looking for that.
So Mudon, ever since you had that minor rejection, you've been wandering around. You come upon some stairwells, some parts that go up, some parts that go down.
Is this a doorway right here in front of where I'm standing?
That is a doorway.
Mudon kind of feels like he was in the way of everybody. Would it be possible at this point to roll a 4C check?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's blank.
No communication with the Force so far. You do appear as though a great nebula is in the way, something obscuring your vision. It's not as though you fail, it's just that it's a murky future. You can't see it clearly. You can go ahead through the door.
Doorway.
The lines in this place are not really clear, but it actually goes to the top of what appears to be a meditation terrace. Continue moving along there. As you're going, you see a cache. There's a small chest with fancy green lights showing beneath you.
Ooh.
And I'll allow you to make a lore or warfare roll on what's inside the weapons cache. Difficulty 1 with 1 challenge. You do not fail, but you do not succeed either. Flummoxed at how little they understand as what they see, at the very least, you recognize that the majority of the things inside the weapons cache are crystal and lightsaber handle components. Nothing complete, just parts.
Okay.
Do I think there's anything more I can learn from the book, or should I move on?
With a little bit of study, you could get some additional advice on how to create a lightsaber, but it's kind of like a manual.
So I guess I'm going to move.
As you go out where you went to the right, I'm going to say you and Moira can both see Kel and Luke talking. Kel has a lightsaber handle that is now emitting a training lightsaber out of it, and then moves to the second archive.
I hear them talking. I'll walk out. As my character is walking out, she was so eager to follow the group that she has not savored or resonated with the area yet. So I was hoping to do sense and farsight.
You see the beacon of light that is Luke. You see the torches that are all of your allies, and you also see a deep undercurrent of dark side energy. It is built on top of a Sith temple, and with 2 light side force that I'm assuming you're using, you can see a face. It appears to be almost demonic in nature, horned and thorned around the jaw and cheek and chin. You don't know the name of this person, but you see who this edifice was made in honor of.
I'm gonna examine the forge.
It is still active, but it needs more materials to make a new lightsaber. Back over to Mudon. Mudon, you have found some materials.
Right, but I don't know what they are.
You know that they're lightsaber making materials, but you don't know like specifically like which part's an emitter, which part's a lens, which part's a handle.
Okay. And now that the archive is clear and I'm not going to be in anybody's way, I'd like to take a look at the book here.
Sure, you can roll mechanics or lore with a boost die. Difficulty 2. You study hard, however, you piece together a number of the materials that you have here. I'm just going to say this briefly. There's a bunch of Barab ingot and some Ilum crystal here, some very standard run-of-the-mill lightsaber parts.
Okay.
Additionally, you see that there's a Thalothian heartwood hilt, which is good for a stronger grip.
Ooh.
Pistol hilt as well, that combines a blaster pistol with a lightsaber, and then a number of parts that can be turned into a more traditional lightsaber handle, or a double lightsaber, or a lightsaber pike.
Wow.
Back to Kel would have an encounter with a mysterious figure, and then wander through the stones themselves. However, due to the nature of this convergence, they occupy the same space as all of these three without actually being there. They have their own experience. Back to Tristan and Moira.
I think Tristan will wander kind of in here.
You wander through, and you see that these are ruins, that this place is largely deconstructed. Where it forks, to the bottom it appears to be more engineered, to the top it seems more rough-hewn. There is some additional rebel gear here, mostly sensors, some explosives, some uniforms, some armor, but if you wanted to get yourself like a survival kit, a healing kit, anything like that, this is where you'd pick it up. I believe Moira has had her fill with the assembly hall. You have actually flashed through a couple of timelines at this point. You see when the rebels were here, you've seen when the Empire was here, and you've seen when the Sith were here as well. There was a large statue in the middle of the figure whose face you saw in your vision.
Doing a similar thing, slowly absorbing the area. I will go to this room next. When I was in here, did I see this? The wall?
You did not see it. The false wall is closing up behind people, and you didn't take any actions in here that might reveal it so far. If you're just looking, I'll let you roll perception.
Okay.
Your character does not find the secret pathway. Now we're going to go back to this group in the holocron chamber. Budon, you've done some research.
Yeah, so presumably now I have everything to build a lightsaber.
In theory, you could do it with everything you have here, but you don't have any tools on hand.
Okay. Would it be possible to roll 4C again to kind of see where I should proceed?
I try to discourage multiple 4Cs in a day, but in this setting, it's very appropriate. So two light
side, yeah.
You see all of you taking turns at the lightsaber forge, generating handles, and then you see a flash forward as you're all standing in the assembly hall against two figures. One, a unarmed brute. The other one appears to be a dark-robed man with a red glowing sword. Not a lightsaber, a sword.
And I saw all of us together?
In the assembly hall.
Okay. Well, that's where I'm heading.
You can see Luke Skywalker cleaning up the lightsaber forge as you approach.
Yeah, I'd like to ask him, Master Skywalker, do I have the materials to build a lightsaber?
Oh yes, it appears you found the cache. Yeah, do you want any help loading these into the forge?
I would be grateful for any help you offer.
You can roll mechanics unless you want to try to describe your manipulation of the lightsaber forge in a different way. It is a 1 purple, 1 red, and you're going to get a boost die from Luke and an additional boost die from having good materials.
And then I'd like to flip a light side point to upgrade my mechanics check.
You can upgrade that. Flip it. I'm not using the actual lightsaber crafting rules for this. I'm kind of giving you guys better than what you deserve on your rolls. Is there anything in particular you want from your lightsaber handle?
One of that Thalothian hilt sounded pretty cool. And
so that's one that you can have.
I was going to say, and Mudon, being an Athorian, would appreciate something that connects him to the Mother Jungle. And then I would want to use one of the Ilum crystals as well.
So you put the 1 purple, 1 red, and you're going to get a boost die from Luke and an additional boost die from having good materials. You can upgrade that. Flip it. I'm not using the actual lightsaber crafting rules for this. I'm kind of giving you guys better than what you deserve on your rolls. Is there anything in particular you want from your lightsaber handle?
One of that Thalothian hilt sounded pretty
Tholian Heartwood hilt inside. That's one of the things you're going to get. And you're going to use a base crystal. I'm going to give you personalized. So I would like you to also have a pommel cap. So if you want to, you can just bash people with the handle instead of just always slashing people. And because you have a crystal at this point, you also get your entire lightsaber. Moira, if you wanted to pick up any gear that would be available to you right now, mostly Saga Edition army equipment that the Rebels had. You've got rifles, you've got blasters, you've got kits, binoculars, just like normal stuff for equipping a military operation.
I'll find a much better pistol than what I have, and I actually do have a skill in it, so I should hopefully be able to identify which ones are better than others.
Sure. You can find a blaster carbine, or you can find a heavy blaster pistol even. Mudon's lightsaber is now finished.
Okay. I want to turn to the others and say, quickly, take what you need. I fear someone is coming.
We did see a strange figure back in that direction, and I'll point through the archive room that we just came from.
And I would mention my experience with the being in my cutting into my computer, Naga Sadao.
I describe what happened in Wookiee speech and hope that Luke understands something about it.
My character would ask, does it look like such and such a description?
Yeah, that matches your description. Naga Sadao, thorny face, clearly a Sith.
I nod.
This does appear to be a Sith temple. This is what I've been able to glean from it. This location is very strong in the dark side.
And the character's way down here, so he doesn't know any of this.
Um,
I'm going to go back to Tristan right now.
I was about to say my character would ask where he is right now because if he's the only one missing.
You've picked up whatever materials you were going to get from there. Where are you going next?
So he grabbed a blast vest and a blaster pistol, and he's going to go around this way.
It's dark. You can continue going. You see a deactivated machine. You can roll mechanics or warfare to try and identify it. Difficulty 2. Setback 1. It appears to be a shield generator, although you certainly cannot activate it yourself.
Okay.
You can do some additional actions. What would you do next?
Head down this way. This is stairs going down, right?
Yeah, stairs go down. There appears to be some ruins to the north. And at this point, as we're doing a little bit of time traveling, you hear talking in the distance, in the darkness.
Okay, I guess I'll go this way.
You cross the pool, you hear a gasp and a clatter as you get to the pool, and some more communication, and then you find this figure blocking your path.
He literally blocks my path.
He did.
So I'll try to walk through him.
He puts his hand out, and as physical as rock, stops you, hand on your chest, and says, "Do you know where you have entered?"
No, it's a chamber.
These are the ruins of my desecrated temple. And I'm going to let you roll lore plus a force die. Your feelings reach out to the shadowy force user, and they reach back to yours. It is like somebody shouting in your mind, Naga Sadao, chanting, Naga Sadao, and then the force user disappears, and now I'll return back to other people. In hearing this news, Luke requests that you all work on your lightsaber handles now that Mudon has recovered the materials. He will investigate this room where you said you found the shadowy figure. Tristan will run into Luke. Luke will tell Tristan to go moving forward and work on his handle.
Tristan will tell Luke he ran into Naga Sadao. Literally.
He keeps his face stoic and says, "Thank you for sharing this information with me. Please join the others."
Well, I'm not very mechanically minded. She's not very mechanically minded. There's moral support,
Exactly.
but perhaps
at
not
your-
a lot of exactly do this, which is perfectly fine.
Lore or mechanics.
Makes me wish I had thought of that.
You got a pretty good saber. You shouldn't be upset.
Okay.
I'm not going to stack these so that they
I really should have done that.
don't go everywhere.
Ooh.
We have our first triumph of the game.
No.
and it does succeed. As the last of the lightsaber forge is whirring and buzzing, you all hear footsteps coming from the south. The shadowy force user comes from the south, while it appears to be a darkly dressed Trandoshan brute coming from the southwest. Luke is nowhere to be seen. The Force user says, "Of course, it is the Jedi who would approach this temple, desecrate my dark desires. I was happy just resting, not participating in the great game of the galaxy. But you will come and invade over and over again."
What do you want, Naga Sidao?
Luke Skywalker invites himself into an enemy's home, and then we should roll initiative. Hey, who's going first?
If nobody else is volunteering, I guess I will.
I mean, I would like to just bash this Trandoshan.
I'm gonna move up to him and ignite my lightsaber and look for a weakness.
You have a clash with Naga. You lay your first strike, and Naga does a quick parry and steps to the side. Naga is next. Only Tristan fully avoids the onslaught force energy coming from this user. The other two of you are going to take 4 lethal damage as this energy, as though the force itself was corrupting you, draining you, desiccating you.
Alright. I got 1 success, 4 advantages, 1 triumph.
So now you know that you have a Thontin crystal, Thontiin crystal. It's not the sharpest crystal, but it does help you ignore the effects of critical injuries if you suffer them. You succeed in hitting, has a 6 damage.
What's his critical range? You got 4 advantages.
Critical range is 2.
So D100.
I got 2 d10s here.
Or roll crit for this PC. Is that what it is?
That- Oh, Gunji, that will roll it on yourself, and so
Okay.
yeah.
So just roll D100?
Yeah, let's roll d100.
50.
Increase all intellect and cunning checks by 1 until the end of the counter.
Hooray!
The idea of
Give me a-
Trandoshan being dumber just is funny to
2 dumb brutes beating each other to become dumber.
I'll go
Go.
next.
Oh, you go
All
for
right.
it.
Ignite my lightsaber as well and join Gunji in going after this Trandoshan. Oh, despair. 2 successes.
And so you hit it, you do a significant amount of damage, but in the melee, the Trandoshan brute is going to basically accept the blow, walk through your lightsaber, and is going to swat it, grabbing onto you. It's going to use a maneuver to try to wrestle you. You are now grappled by a Trandoshan. You're going to take 3 damage as his heavy claws sink into you.
I want to see if I know how to attack or dismiss Force Ghosts or something along those lines, or if I've heard lore or
You do it
legends.
as a maneuver. Your character wasn't in the room when this happened, but you know that there are holocrons in the side, which is where Luke is going. It's possible that by destroying a holocron, you could disrupt this person's connection to this place, or by directly attacking the manifestation, you could probably disrupt the connection as well.
Okay. And in that case, I will use my action. So I will let me know how far I'm allowed to move. Okay.
Right there.
I will let everyone know I'm going to skip the holocron. I will move again. Let me know how far I can move down the
Right here.
all right.
And so you see Luke Skywalker, legs crossed, meditating in the middle of this chamber.
hmm
All 3 of these artifacts seem to have some type of energy that you see from your foresight that he is combating. He's using the mysterious artifact to try to cleanse the Sith and corrupted holocrons.
Let me know if I feel it's better to meditate and assist or just attack the holocron.
It's intuitive, you can tell that one guy's coming from the corrupted holocron, one guy's coming from the Sith holocron. It would be faster to just destroy it. It might be quote unquote better to do it Luke's way.
All right. Well, then I will follow his lead and try to assist.
next round.
I mean, instinctively from where he's at, he's gonna be like, cool, I just have a lightsaber. People showed up, and without thinking, he's gonna draw a gun and shoot. Wow. Well, I didn't fail the check overall, but I did get a despair.
You're going to deal damage to Gungi and the Trandoshan. So he shoots right through Gungi into the Trandoshan, kind of like clipping your shoulder and getting the Trandoshan more center of body mass.
Sorry.
Tristan, your turn.
I'm gonna shoot him first and then run in. With the blaster hilt.
I like the idea of using this as a dual weapon, so it sounds like you're using the blaster as your main attack, and then if you get enough advantage, then you'll hit him with the lightsaber as well.
Okay. 0 successes and 2 advantages.
Okay,
Can
so
I
you're
do
going
that?
to give him a setback on his next roll.
Yes.
You set him off balance a little bit, but you don't hit him. Next up is the Trandoshan. The Trandoshan does a Sarlacc sweep and attacks both Gungi and Mudon at the same time. You are both going to be taking 6 damage. And then, as a maneuver, the Trandoshan is going to try to walk into this watery area, taking Mudon down with him. Would you like to attempt an athletics roll against him?
I would, but could I instead use Bellow?
You could do that on your turn, yes.
Oh,
But this is like your reflexive reaction to try to like struggle against him.
Yeah, okay. What's the difficulty?
It's like a competitive check, so he already rolled.
Oh, great.
He takes you down and begins trying to drown your character. Back to the top of initiative.
So I'm
You gonna
gonna.
bellow?
Yeah, I'm gonna bellow. So totally cancels out.
So you bellow, and people can hear your bellow from under the water, but it seems to have no effect.
So I see her coming up, so I'll go here. And if you want to come up and drop down into a meditative stance and hold out a hand.
I will take it and sit next to you.
And
Luke.
meditate and lend our strength to Luke. And if this is a roll, I would like to flip a destiny to try to give it a boost. Sorry, 2 failure, 1 failure, and 1 disadvantage.
So you fail, and you take 1 strain.
Ida has a 2 success and 2 threat on her discipline roll.
With the threat, you are going to lose the benefits of your leadership
Okay.
as your confidence shakes a little bit, but you make contact with the Sith holocron. You feel Naga Sadow, you feel Sith sorcery and alchemy in this device that is attempting to extend its influence through this room. You and Luke and Moira, she doesn't get in the way, she's still helping. You are all attempting to restrain it back within its container.
Wanted to wait until Moira could go as well.
Yeah, it makes sense that we go together since we're trying to meditate together.
So then
Makes
one of
sense.
us up top.
And now let's have Kata and Moira and Luke go.
I will flip a destiny, but I would also do the equivalent of like trying to clear my mind, possibly, hopefully, give the equivalent of an aim or boost to this.
I like it, yeah.
Also trying to recenter since with all that threat last time, it sort of shook her resolve. Definitely taking a breath and sort of looking to that bond that we have between our allies.
With Moira's efforts, you do seem to deactivate the Sith holocron, and this guy disappears.
After being released from its grasp, when the Wookiee jumps down and smacks it, Udon takes 1 step back and kind of regains his focus, clutching his lightsaber tightly. He looks for an opening while the Trandoshan is eyeing Gungi and darts forward and basically right.
He breaks apart, like you were shining light through a shadow. The corrupted holocron in this room goes dim at the same time. Everybody regathers at this point, talking about their experience, and Luke Skywalker will explain that you all performed quite admirably. But this temple was more dangerous than he expected. He didn't find the holocron room when he was clearing out the creatures and the beasts that had inhabited it over the years. He's proud of all of you. However, he also understands that this may have caused some negative feelings to develop, having been threatened and your friends put in danger as well. hopes that you can all try to overcome those feelings through meditation and counsel with one another.
Some of us also need backed up.
I was about to say that there's people that need to be healed probably. So if anybody has a med pack, or I believe there's a storage room in here that might have a med pack in your hands that you might need to fix them up, and then
Luke chuckles and says, yes, of course. Let's attend to our wounds, and did everybody have a good time?
Yeah.
it was very cool. My character fully intends to explore more of this if there's the opportunity.
I'm glad to hear that. I hope you all like your lightsabers. Who would like the honors of flipping the table? Very good.